shoved Lowry when he ended up in the crowd diving for a ball. There were some repeated expletives thrown his way. The NBA has banned Stevens for 1 season and fined him $500,000 as a result. Before the ban was announced, Lowry talked to the media.
In that situation, I don't think I could have handled it any better. I'm glad I did what I did, and understanding that, things could have been a lot different if I reacted a different way, or if I did something, or put my hands on them, or did anything in that nature. But the support I've gotten from fellow players, the league, has been unbelievable. With that being said, I think more should be done. I don't think he's not a good look for the ownership group that they have, and I know Joe Lacob. Those guys are great guys. The ownership that they have, that I know, they're unbelievable guys. But a guy like that showing his true class, and he shouldn't be a part of our league. There's just no place for that.
See, what was your reaction when you saw this?
Well, I think that at least he should be suspended. I believe they should take his ownership away or force him to sell the team. In that unprovoked situation, as a minority owner of an NBA team, you're in the NBA Finals, the biggest stage for the business that you're in. You're a 2-time defending NBA champion. I mean, how many playoff games have they played in, Nick, this 5-year run? How many playoff games?
Tonight will be 103, so they've played 102 playoff games.
This is what they do. Like the leaves change in the fall, this is what the Warriors do. And for this guy, as Lowry said, part of a great ownership group. Man, we talk about them up and down, what they do for the players, the environment they've created. Like, we have never had anything negative to say about the ownership, the general manager, Steve Kerr. Like, they do things, like, they're great on the court, but there's a reason why.
Yep.
They got a plan that comes from the front office, and they have been first class. They have to remove the ownership from him, because this does not make any sense for an owner to go out of his way to push, or to eat. A lot of people might say throw a punch or something at a player.
He certainly shoved him. At the very least, he shoved him.
And for no reason. Another thing that upset me besides the shove was, why did he have to respond to him in a profane way?
Like, what? At him.
Yeah, what was the meaning for that? To me, as an owner, and this is what we always say, that as you go from players to coaches to ownership, the responsibility goes up. It does not go down.
Of course.
And in this, not make an example, but there should be a clear-cut rule. If you're going to be associated with the NBA, like, we are not going to tolerate this. And I believe he should be banned from his ownership and not be able to participate in the NBA, Nick.
So I had a bunch of reactions. One is, I hate that this happened to anyone. I'm glad it happened to Kyle Lowry, though. One of the most mature and best people we have in this league, because there's a lot of really good guys who would have responded a lot worse than Kyle Lowry. And there's a lot of edge guys that would have responded a hell of a lot worse than Kyle Lowry. Man, you are at the height of competition. Your adrenaline is firing. This guy's just watching the game. And some stranger, some other grown man shoves you, it would not have been out of line at all. And if you watch it, there's a woman between he and the guy. If Lowry responds the way a lot of people would have, which is to shove him back, this could have been ugly. Right. I also feel badly for Lowry, though, because he had a great game. And for the league, that this became the headline. We didn't discuss it on yesterday's show because while we were on the air, we thought it was just some yahoo, just some random jerk fan that you're going to deal with. But when you know it's a part of the ownership group, that's why Adam Silver took it as seriously as he did. I've been told that Adam Silver spent almost his whole day on this yesterday, that he was talking to people around players in this league to see how they were feeling, because the players, there is a growing sentiment amongst players that too often fans at these games are allowed to treat the players like they're tigers at the zoo, like tap on the glass. You know they can't bite you, because there's no chance. You said this yesterday morning before you knew who this guy was. There's no chance this guy on the street tries to start mess with Kyle Lowry. No, he only does it because he knows he has a impenetrable force field in front of him.
It's Drake walking up and down the sideline, being able to touch the shoulders. I know there was no malice there with it, but still, there's no separation really in basketball between the players and the fans.
There's no separation between players and fans, but the fans know.
But let me tell you something. And since I was in the 9th grade, I have the pleasure of being in the NBA locker rooms, being NBA courtside. That's the one thing that makes this game great. You can't do that in hockey. You can't do that. Go to Yankee Stadium. Like, they might get you downstairs, but you're not, when the action starts, you're up, you're a long ways away from it. That's what makes this game special. This is not the NFL, where the fans are lifted up and you're disconnected from that special bond between, I'm watching this game, I'm watching these athletes, I get close enough, I can feel the vibration on my feet. Man, we used to have a saying that, man, if your feet ain't on the wood, the tickets ain't no good. Like, man, on the wood, you could feel the vibration of these tremendous athletes. Man, it's a privilege to be able to do that.
Of course.
And it's never been lost on me. And his privilege should be revoked from him.
And there is this was not a safety issue. Okay, this was a guy being a jerk. He wasn't actually going to hurt Kyle Lowry.
Yes.
But when the more incidents there are of fans in Utah going at Russell Westbrook in these confrontations,
sure,
the more normalized it becomes for something like this, the more possible it becomes for someone to do something that is a safety issue, and for us to think, oh, it's just another fan acting a fool.
I think Adam Silver needs to just be consistent with this and start sending the message, listen, if you go to an NBA game, it is not okay to touch the players.
Of course.
All right? It is not okay. I don't care how much you pay for the seats. I don't care who you are. It is not okay to touch a player who is not expecting, or he didn't reach out to touch you.
Yeah, 100%. And this is Dylan Byers reported, to your point about the ownership, that there's been some thought that this summer the majority owners are going to force him to sell his shares. So even if the NBA is not going to do it the way they did Donald Sterling, and this obviously wasn't Donald Sterling, Joe Lacob and company might take care of that for us.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, will the Raptors take complete control of the series tonight? This is First Things First.